Hello, one and all. I'm Mr. Weir 121, and I welcome you to the first ever edition of Blood Wars, the show where we take two fictional characters, examine their strengths and weaknesses, and their approaches to battle to see who would win in a fight to the death. In today's fight, we'll be taking two characters from one of Capcom's most beloved franchises, Mega Man, and more specifically, the classical Mega Man series. One of the many things that makes the classical Mega Man series so beloved are the Robot Masters, with over 100 Robot Masters to choose from. It's time to find out which two will be doing battle. That's right, we will be comparing Time Man and Oil Man, the two Robot Masters introduced in Mega Man Powered Up, the PSP remake of the first Mega Man game. Now, without further delay, let's proceed to the bios and analysis. Beginning with Time Man, also known by his serial number DLN-008. He is a Robot Master created by Dr. Light for use in time travel experiments. However, since his time travel theory had not yet been perfected at the time, his fiction functions are not complete. He can't freeze time, only slow down time. However, even though it's not shown in-game, it's likely a robot like Time Man with his computer AI brain would be able to reverse the ability to slow down time in order to be able to have a slight form of speed acceleration. His main form of attacking is with arrow-like projectiles, shaped like clock hands that move straight forward. These projectiles travel in different speeds depending on their size. The hour projectile moves slower than the minute one. As far as Time Man's durability is concerned, it's much lower than other Robot Masters, because he is expected to dodge attacks by slowing down time and getting out of the way of the attacks. Time Man's main weakness, besides his lacking durability, deals with his personality. He is irritable, somewhat conceited, and is completely obsessed with time and his schedules. His opponent does something that contradicts his predetermined schedule for a fight will cause him to become angered, losing a bit of his focus on the battle at hand. Now looking at Oil Man, also known by his serial number DLN-00B. He is a maintenance robot master made by Dr. Light to be able to produce a special type of oil from the dispenser on his left arm that can work with any machinery. Oil Man believes that oil is the answer to everything, even when he has other resources at his disposal. During a fight, he will instead ignore these resources, preferring to rely on his tried-and-true oil. Oil Man's main strategy when attacking an opponent is to jump into the air, firing down 3 blobs of oil on his opponents. He also slides on oil he has already fired onto the ground, using the resulting momentum, charging shoulder first into an opponent. As far as his durability is concerned, he is resistant to most elemental attacks except fire, as oil is easily flammable. However, unlike in the game, normal fire wouldn't be enough to put Oil Man down, as the heat produced wouldn't be high enough to melt the metal, nor do enough damage to incapacitate him. The flames would have to be blue flames, which burns hotter than normal flames, or would have to be something hotter than fire, such as magma or napalm. Now that we are done looking at our two combatants, we have reached the verdict. The victory to the victor out of 100 battles goes 55 to 45. The following is a hypothetical explanation of how the battle would go. Dr. Wily is starting to feel that some of the Robot Masters that he stole from Dr. Light aren't living up to his expectations, so he sends Time Man to deal with Oil Man, who's at a factory keeping the machinery working properly. Oil Man has just finished his work and is about to start resting when Time Man arrives at the factory. Wasting little time, Time Man uses his AoE speed acceleration on his 3 thrown clock hand projectiles. Taken by surprise by the incoming attack, Oil Man jumps, getting about above 2 of the hands, but the highest of the projectiles hits his left leg, denting the metal. However, it doesn't pierce the metal, as the smallest of the 3 projectiles was the one to hit. Still in the air, Oil Man sends a retaliation attack, firing 3 blobs of oil down towards where Time Man is standing. Not even bothering looking up, Time Man sends out a time wave, slowing down time, casually avoiding the blobs of oil as they hit the ground. Time Man, while in his state of slowed time, mutters to himself how inconceivable it is that Oil Man was only hit by 1 of his projectiles, as it goes against his fight schedule. Oil Man has finally landed on the ground, still under the effects of the time slow. Wanting to get some form of speed back, Oil Man slides on the splats of oil he had previously fired, going shoulder first into Time Man, who was still distracted due to muttering to himself, so he gets knocked to the ground. Time Man's 2 bells on top of his head are damaged due to the fall, stopping his time slow effect. He looks up, seeing Oil Man standing above him, with his oil dispenser aimed at him. Quickly reacting, Time Man fires a cluster of 5 clock hand projectiles into the dispenser, jamming it. This causes a buildup in pressure, resulting in an explosion, hitting Oil Man and Time Man. When the smoke from the explosion dissipates, both Robot Masters are heavily damaged. However, only one is still functioning, which is Oil Man, who is the winner of the battle. The reason for Oil Man's victory over Time Man comes down to their durability. While both of them are lacking here, Oil Man's job of keeping machinery, which are often heavy and dangerous, requires him to be able to function, even if somewhat damaged. While Time Man isn't built to take much damage. When his time slow ability isn't working, he is in a lot of trouble. This is it for the first episode of Blood Wars. Do you agree? If not, feel free to say what you think would have gone different in the comments section. And look forward to the next episode of Blood Wars.